I want to introduce our first speaker, Debra McArthur. Debra has lived in Parkville for over 40 years. She's worked at Park University for 24 years, serving as the Director of Academic Support Services. She's been a member of AAUW, that's the American Association of University Women, for over 10 years and currently serves as the president of the Parkville Branch and as the College University Relations Chair for Missouri's AAUW and Reentry Scholarship Coordinator for the Kansas City Interbranch Council. Her husband is pretty sure she's doing retirement wrong. So without further ado, here's Debra McArthur speaking from the AAUW.
Thank you, Marcus, and thank you all for being here this evening. And it's my pleasure to be able to talk with you a little bit tonight and tell you a little bit about AAUW, the American Association of University Women. All right, I'm going to start our PowerPoint here. AAUW is a national organization, and hopefully we'll have a slide up here in a moment that shows our national website. On the national level, we have over 170,000 members, and we have, oh, here we go. We're going to get to it there.
Yeah, coming up.
There we go. And our goal is right there on our page, equity. We are all about equity for girls and women, making sure that women and girls growing up have equal opportunity and have access to the kinds of things they need in order to be successful in life. So our mission is advancing gender equity through research, education, and advocacy. And as I said, over 170,000 members nationwide. AAUW was founded in 1881. We've been around for quite a long time, long before women had the right to vote, but we continue as a strong organization today. Next slide, please. So one of our platforms is economic security. We want women to be able to have economic security in their lives. And so in order to accomplish that, we conduct ongoing research into the gender pay gap to look at why it is that in the 21st century, women are making only about 82 cents to a man's dollar. And for minority women, of course, it's even lower. And so that is something that that AAUW generally or continues research on. That gender pay gap also has a powerful impact on women's student debt, because now women make up more than half of college graduates, but it takes them much longer to pay off their student debt.
Sorry about that.
It's okay. All right. We do have a program to educate women on salary negotiation skills. This is something that is important for a woman from the time she enters the field of work, and that pay gap only gets larger the more years she works. And so it's really important to teach women how to successfully negotiate salary. And so that's called a Work Smart program. I have little cards on the table at the back that tell people how to access. It's a free online program that anyone can go in and use. Gives you powerful tools for being able to negotiate salary. So if you or someone you know is in a position where they are trying to move up in their career and not sure just how to go about that, it's an excellent program. We also advocate for passage of legislation at the federal, the state, and the local level to help to narrow that gender pay gap, but also make sure that women have equal rights and opportunities. Next slide. Education is, of course, a major concern of AAUW. We want to encourage women to achieve and to complete their education. We, again, are researching things like the STEM gap and why it is that women are not going into STEM fields at the same rate as their male peers. Sexual harassment on campus, student debt, women in higher education leadership. Even though women outnumber men in higher education, in the leadership, they are lagging far behind. AAUW also provides scholarships, fellowships, and grants for women in different fields, and that's an ongoing program, and details about how to apply for those grants are on our website. We support STEM programs at all levels, K through higher education. And we also provide legal advocacy for women who are who have entered Title IX complaints or other gender equity issues. Next slide. Advocacy is part of the way we do our work. And through AAUW, we have access to a weekly newsletter called the 2-Minute Advocate. And it keeps us up to date on pending legislation at the national and state and local level so that we can see what issues are things like the Paycheck Fairness Act and other issues that may be coming up in the state legislatures. And we then can contact our legislators. We have a whole network of women across the state who are working with state legislators and regularly in contact with them to voice our support or our not support for things that might be going on. AAUW is a nonpartisan organization. We do not support candidates of any party for office. We do, however, speak out on issues. And so sometimes there are election matters that have to do with issues like voting rights and paycheck fairness and things like that. And we do voice our support on those types of issues. AAUW also has a strong organization here across the state of Missouri. We have, oh, go ahead, next slide, please. We have over 500 members across the state of Missouri and 17 local branches across the state. 4 of those are here in the Kansas City area, and they make up what is known as the Interbranch Council. Even though we are in Parkville, we also work with women in our Kansas City Northland branch, our Independence branch, and our Kansas City, Missouri branch so that we can get more done together. Through the efforts of our local members, 18 cities across the state issued proclamations in honor of the 100th anniversary of women's suffrage, including Parkville. We sponsor STEM programs for kids, essay contests, and scholarships. We also sponsor statewide programs that take place on Zoom. One of those will be this Thursday. We'll talk about that in a minute. And the Kansas City Interbranch Council last year awarded $8,000 in scholarships to local women who earned what we call a reentry scholarship, meaning they had been out of school for 5 years or more and had returned to school, and we helped them with funding for that. Next slide. Our Parkville branch has been around for over 85 years. We were founded in 1935 on the Park College campus at that time. Our branch works with the university. We've sponsored many Smart Start workshops, which is the college women's equivalent of our Work Start program. And it helps our graduating students know how to enter the field and command a salary commensurate with their male peers. Our research shows that even just 1 year after graduation, women are already lagging behind men in their pay. We do award a reentry scholarship from our branch every year to a Park student. We also support the Speak Food Pantry here at the church with donations from our members in order to purchase feminine hygiene products because we became aware that that was a need. We're active at both the local and the state level. So we have members who are serving in that Interbranch Council. We also have several of our members who serve on state committees or as state chairs. And we hold our meetings on the first Thursday of each month. And this year we've partnered with the Parkville Living Center to be able to hold our meetings here. So we're really excited about that. Next slide. So our first big upcoming event is going to be this Thursday. Now, this is a state-sponsored event, so this is not our particular branch that's sponsoring that, but this is a Zoom program, Women's Suffrage, Racism, and Intersectionality, 1 year after the 19th Amendment Centennial. Missouri women were very instrumental in the suffrage movement, but unfortunately, at that time, in the early 1900s, our sisters of color were often excluded from those efforts. They were supportive of those efforts, but they were often left in the background at anything that had to do with public support of those. And there were some reasons for that, but that's something that we're addressing. We have a big movement nationwide in our organization for diversity, equity, and inclusion. And so we're trying to bring some of these issues to light now so that we can hold honest discussions about them. So I think this will be a really interesting event. These two ladies are experts in that field. Also, Mayor Nan Johnston is going to be here that evening because it is Parkville Celebration Day of the recognition of the suffrage amendment. Our first branch activity of the year will be here next Thursday on September 2nd. And we are presenting an AAUW webinar program called 2 Steps Back, the Impact of COVID-19 on Women Entrepreneurs. So our meeting will be here at the church. We'll have some light refreshments and a business meeting after that. We have some other exciting meetings coming up this year. In October, we're going to be showing a video presentation called Rigged, the Voter Suppression Playbook. It is very interesting. It's also, I find it personally quite infuriating what's going on across the country in a majority of states that are really trying to restrict access to the ballot. And that's the topic of that video program. In November, we have someone from the Missouri Humanities Council, Alyssa Ford, who's going to be talking about Soothing the Savage Hearts of Man, women's suffrage in rural Missouri. In February, we have an author who's going to come in and talk to us about some pioneers, some female pioneers in aviation. And Nancy has some wonderful stories to share, especially about some women pilots that she has interviewed. She is an author of books for young people, and so we'll have books for sale at that event too. In March, we're hoping to get some of our Legal Advocacy Fund plaintiffs who were involved in a lawsuit on a Title IX case against St. Cloud University. And AAUW has provided legal fees to help them in that lawsuit. On April 7th, we have Ann Enig from the Girl Scouts, who's going to be coming and talking to us about the STEM and STEAM programs that Girl Scouts offers to young women to help them go into those career fields. I do have membership materials for AAUW at the back of the room, a little sheet of paper that tells how you can join online. Like many organizations, the last year has been pretty difficult because we had to hold all of our meetings by Zoom. Right now, we're being cautious. We're holding our meetings in person as much as we can. As things change, we are also going to be offering Zoom links so that people can join who aren't necessarily comfortable coming in person, or in case the situation is such that it's not really safe for us to meet in person. So, but we are looking for more people to help us reach that goal of equity for women and girls. So we'd love to invite you to join our organization. We have male members as well as female members. and from many different countries around the world, but we'd like you to join our Parkville branch, and we're really looking forward to a good year ahead. So thank you.